Hello everyone and welcome to the video. It is going to be the first day of chopping corn silage. We got to get the chopper ready here. It's a very hot day, so it's not the best day to be doing this, but the silo is empty. We got to throw another couple loads in there. We got to open up the fields, get our chopper set up here, so it's going to be a busy day. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get the chopper switched over for corn. Okay, we got all of our other hardware and chutes in, and now it's time to get the processor itself into the chopper. Okay, we got the processor in. Now we're gonna sharpen the knives before we put the head on. Before we put the head on and finish up with the chopper here, there's a few questions that we've been seeing from you guys down in the comments that we wanted to answer regarding the chopper and our tractors. So first off, we've had some comments asking what that is. That's a processor, and in these pull-type choppers, when it comes to hay, you don't want this in there. You just want that chute because you don't need to process the hay as much as you would corn. So with corn, there's these rollers, and that's the heart of the processor. That's essentially what's going on, is as the corn's feeding through there, it's cracking all the kernels in the stalk and all the pieces in order to make a...
It's more about the kernel,
yeah,
so that the cow can digest the kernel better.
So it improves digestibility, so that improves feed quality. Whereas your old chopper didn't have a processor in it, but it did have a grate in it, kind of like a feed mixer or a corn mixer or grinder would, just to slow that down so it spends more time in the knives.
So what they do is they call it a screen, and these holes, you can get them in different sizes. And then of course this one's worn, so all the edges are kind of wore off, but typically it would be a nice square edge, so your knife would come real close to that, and it almost, like you said, be almost like a recut.
Yeah, it would keep the product in there longer and chop it up even finer to make a higher quality feed. With our alfalfa, we don't want that. Some guys actually, like cloth choppers, they seem to be chopping their alfalfa a bit longer stems than we do. But with corn, we want to crack that kernel in order to improve our feed quality. And
so really it's more the maturity of the corn. This year now, it's hot out here. The corn is actually maturing really fast. There's still milk in the kernel, so we maybe go about 3/4 milk line. So just so you got a little bit of milk right on the tip of the kernels where we go. That can get ahead of you. Next thing you know, it's drier in some fields or whatever, or if you get rain, you don't get it, and then it's more mature. So that's where your processor can crack each kernel, even though corn is drier, and it still makes, like you said, the digestibility is the...
Makes a better feed. So that's the answer to the chopper question. And then we've also gotten questions about the duals on the 7810, the chopping tractor, and the 1066. We've gotten questions why only one dual. And when it comes to the 7810, pulling the chopper, as you can see on the right side of the screen here, that's where you're intaking your crop, whether it's corn or hay. So you don't want a dual on this side because it would be running over your crop or the windrow of hay.
I've seen some guys do it. You get those really big, I mean, maybe the 1200s, maybe got a longer pole, like widen out more. And better not to. It's more about the hills or if like in the cornfields when it's really wet. To give you more traction. The reason I put a dual on the outside, we call it the outside.
So the left side of the machine here, away from where the product would be going.
So right
in your
now,
chopper.
when we get this head on, we gotta go open up a cornfield. So there's no room for a dual there. We would either be running a fence over or another row of corn down. So we even got that axle mount that's hanging out there that you know, you gotta kind of take that in consideration where the other ones don't have it. But anyway, if we were gonna have a really wet field to go in after the fields open up, we could put that outside dual back on. It just gives you more traction. But the main reason I do it, or we do it on the outside, is when we're like chopping hay, it gives you a lot more support. The lug on there, they call that a 23-degree lug. And when you turn to the downhill side, it starts to slide. Now it ain't nothing really critical, but it does tear up the hay a bit. When the tractor starts sliding after everything starts pushing you after you. So going straight ahead, you got plenty of traction. But that dual, being that dual's on there, just gives you that much more support out there, weight out there, more ground contact, less compaction. So like last year when we chopped our third crop hay, it was really wet. Remember, it rained a lot, and then we had a couple nice days in there, we got our hay off. Ripping your sod up less.
And then when it comes to the 1066, the reason we put a dual on there on the one side is that would be the edge of our pile.
And we might put them both on, you know, just, you know, because corn is real slippery. Corn don't pack like hay, and to keep the support, keep the tractors from sliding off.
Yeah, and getting up and onto the pile too.
Then you're packing a wider area. Because typically one tire will pack more than a dual, because all the weight is in one spot.
More weight per square inch.
But then again, then you're making little ruts and you're sliding and you're less, you know, when you get up there, it's just not as supportive. So.
Yep, so there's the answer to some of those questions. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave those down in the comments so we can take time to answer those as well. But we're gonna keep working on our chopper here, put the corn head on, and then soon we'll be chopping the first corn for the year. Okay, now that we have the chopper ready to go, we're going to hook up the blower to the silo, and then we'll put the doors in the silo and get everything ready to go. So once we start chopping, we can just start unloading right away. Okay, we got the silo ready, Mason, he's taking the 7405 to our other shed to grab an extra chopper box so we don't have to mess around with just one. And then Dad, he's starting to cut into the field now, so let's get down there and get some cool clips of the chopper. Before I head down there, I wanted to remind you guys that if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. There's a large percentage of you watching that aren't subscribed. And also share it with someone who you think might like the video as well. But anyways, let's go check out the chopper. See, that's kind of what the processor is doing. It's cracking open them kernels, or chopping them in half. This makes a nice fine feed, having that extra add-on in there. Here comes Mason to grab the first load. Okay, so as you can see here, he's taken 2 passes so far, 4 rows, and the plan is to take at least 6. So he's going to try to pick up what he knocked down on his way back. He's going to try to turn around on the other end and come back the other way now that he's got some room, and go nice and slow with his head low to the ground and try to pick up this corn that he had to knock over along the fence. Sucks to have to run it over and lay it on the ground versus if we had a self-propelled chopper, but as long as he comes and gets it right away, it normally doesn't go too bad. And a little bit of the corn we lose doing that, it still pencils out way better than having to get a big brand new self-propelled. But who knows, maybe one day we'd get an older one, a smaller one. Seeing the chopper stopped in the distance, so came over here to check it out. The one chain that feeds the stalks in on the head fell off, and Dad says it's just because of all the grass along the field edge. Really thick stuff gets all tangled up in the chains in the head, especially when he's got to try to pick it up like he is. Second load is up here. Let's grab it with the 7405 and then we'll bring it up by the blower and get it in the silo. There we go, the last load's going in the silo. Mason's watching that right now. When it came to chopping, everything's gone really smooth today. Dad's got the chopper put away, and we were just kind of making a plan together for the next couple days and when we're gonna start in. We'll probably give it a couple days here since it's so hot. We hate to open up our hay piles to this heat like this, and the corn it's getting there. It won't hurt leaving it another day or two here. So stay on the lookout for more corn chopping videos. We also have some new seeding to address. We might be putting that in our big pile, or Dad mentioned we might try to graze it or something. With such a dry year, we don't want to hurt that new seeding crop and take it off while it's short and then doesn't come in before winter here and get some winter kill. So we don't want that to happen, but that's a possibility too, that we'll be putting in a little dab of hay with our corn silage here right at the end. But thank you all for sticking to the end. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, share, comment, all that good stuff if you enjoyed it. That's gonna be it. We'll see you guys next time.